Alrighty guys, hello and welcome back to the show. We have a cast on the cards for you guys today. 4v4 going down on Wonder 4v4. So the reason I picked this game for a couple different reasons. Number one, it has good action. So I'm trying to make sure all of my games have relatively good action that I'm casting for you guys. Number two, it is a mid to a little on the lower side skill level. So with multiple players being under 1,000 rating, so being able to get into those custom games where kind of 1,000 seems to be kind of the cutoff with a lot of people, where if you're under 1,000 you go to one set of games, and if you're over 1,000 you go to another set of games, which I take issue with, but that's okay. Let's get into introducing the players. So up at the top, we'll start with Team 1, rear guard air position. We have Did You Miss Me? He's going first air, going Cybran. Got some engineers cranking out. To his south, we have Snow Mage Dawn going Seraphim. He is open first land. Got his commander headed out to capture that hydrocarbon power plant. To his north, TV Casualty going Aeon. He is opening first land. And then last but not least, on Team 1, we have Pinky 2112 going Seraphim. He opened first land and is capturing this hydro power plant. Shifting to Team 2, rear guard air position, we have Sirius also going Cybran, so a Cybran matchup on the air today. He opened first air, capturing that hydrocarbon power plant. Down to his west, we have Glenluke going Seraphim, and he opened first land and has got a ton of land factories queued up. And by a ton, I mean 6, which to me seems like a lot. To his north, we have Investigation, who is going Seraphim. He opened first land. We will definitely be investigating his play style. And then up at the north, we have Moonshadow 01 going Cybran and opening first land. So really heavy representation of Seraphim in this game. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So half the players in this game electing to go for the aliens with the overpowered T2 assault bots. And then we have 1 Aeon and then 3 Cybran. So no UEF represented, which is interesting. But hey, it's everybody's choice as far as how they want to pick their civs. Com set it out to the middle here. Of course, on this map, we do have a good amount of reclaim here in the craters. Really just a ton of reclaim altogether. But especially in the middle here within these craters, there's a lot of good reclaim. And then there is an Omni in the middle, which looks like it already has a reclaim order from Glenluke's command unit. But that being worth 2,000 mass. So definitely a pretty healthy prize to shovel away into the coffers to get your team a boost. So I know that we have a good number of new players that are watching the channel, and one of the questions that I have gotten a couple of times as I'm talking to you guys is why would you reclaim if you can't use all of the mass? And so if you are overflowing mass and reclaiming something that is, say, 2,000 mass, and you only have X amount of mass in your capacity, it will overflow into your teammates' budgets. So you shouldn't be holding off on reclaiming, especially on maps like this one or maps like Settins that have large reclaim options in the middle. It's definitely a good thing to be doing, regardless of how much mass you actually have, because it could be helping out your teammate, and for all you know, your teammate might be starving next door. Looking at some of the action that's actually starting off here, so TV Casualty sent a couple of Aeon Auroras into the middle, and Glenluke one of these guys will now be the beneficiary of the remainder of this Omni radar. Rather poor place for a T1 PD placement. It's always rough to see what elevation actually looks like on these maps. It's hard to tell from above that PD cannot actually get to anything over that crater. Meanwhile, Pinky and Moonshadow getting into it a little bit on that side of the house. And in the middle, we have TV Casualty with a gun upgrade coming into the middle of this to tangle things up a little bit with Glenluke and Investigation. So that gun upgrade should keep him from dying or getting in too far over his head, even though it is a 2v1. That was a really early gun speed upgrade. We're only 4 minutes into the game. I guess that is one of the benefits of being Aeon, is you have access to kind of the 2 separate gun upgrades, so it's much easier to kind of take them in stages instead of trying to bite off one big chunk. But Snow Mage is doing a pretty good job of locking down the bottom here, mostly because his opponent's commander is otherwise preoccupied, so he could do with sending some spam out to help out his buddy up here at the top. Been watching a little bit too much Netflix and has become a casualty to TV, I see. Haha. Just FYI, so that nobody is surprised. And there's so many good opportunities for puns in this game with player names, so we're going to be doing that a lot. Just a heads up. I'm not quite a dad. I'm not a dad yet, but I've got the dad jokes locked and loaded for later on down the road. TV Casualty setting up some forward manufacturing facilities and doing a pretty good job fighting off both the comms. Glenn Luke taking a little bit of a beating, only down to around 4k HP. He's gonna be doing a little bit of reclaiming here in the middle as he reps up. Up at the top we have gun speed and range coming in for Pinky 2112, and that will be very helpful as he is engaging with Moonshadow's forces over here on the kind of northeastern side of the map. Moonshadow actually getting his units a nice little run by here to take out radar options, mass options. I mean, there's not a whole lot up here that is going to stop him. You could take out several mass extractors and potentially even get it to Did You Miss Me's base. So Did You Miss Me might be missing his base here pretty soon. We'll see what Pinky can do to respond, but he doesn't have a whole lot of spam available, and this is a pretty healthy chunk of Mantis that are going to be banging down his door here pretty soon. Down at the bottom, we also have a gun speed and range coming in for Snow Mage Dawn. So gun speed and range being the name of the game on the upgrade side of the house here, with how much you can get your comm into engagements, how quickly and easily it is for you to engage with your comm. It's not surprising that a lot of these guys are going for gun upgrades. Let's see what they end up doing with it. That's what matters. This run by, checking back in on that. We've got a pretty hefty amount of damage that's being done here, taking out mass extraction points. He's going to pick up another one here, and I mean, he can honestly just hook around this and start dealing with Did You Miss Me's base. Did You Miss Me has almost nothing on land, has only got prowlers as far as responding. But Pinky, with that gun upgrade, will be able to plug the hole, so as long as he can deal with the guys that have already gotten through, there shouldn't be a huge issue with seeing additional units coming in. And yeah, that gun comm is going to go to work. Needs to actually keep it moving though with the units so that he can kill them before they just run past this comm. Gun speed and range for Glenn Luke, so everybody getting their gun upgrades. You know what they say in the morning, get your gun upgrades. It's good for your bones. Also good for your guns. As long as you stick to them. If you stick to your guns and get your gun upgrades, you'll be just fine. That attack peters out a little bit there for Moonshadow up at the top. Checking in with our air players. We've got T2, so we're up to T2 from Sirius. He has got, he's starting to spit out some Corsairs, moving towards his second T2 power generator, and his mirror is right now making the jump to T2 air, so a little bit behind on the factory front, but I think that Did You Miss Me went, I think I saw a T2 upgrade on his comm earlier. I can't actually find his comm right now to double check, but I'm seeing T2 units that are built. They had to have come from somewhere, right? Oh, there's his comm. He came over here building some point defense and some TMD, but yes, he does have the T2 engineering suite. Snow Mage is taking a little bit of a battering here. Glenn Luke applying some pressure. Both of these guys with gun upgrades, but Glenn Luke having the superior amount of spam. The spam though just kind of sitting still right now as Snow Mage Dawn overcharges into the group of Thams. And a T2 upgrade now on the way for investigation, so he will be investigating the upper echelons of technology with the T2 engineering suite. Corsair's in over the top though. It's only 2, so it's going to take him a little while to get through this commander, but we need to see a response from Did You Miss Me? Because everybody is missing his Air Force right about now. These Corsairs, there's nothing really on the ground that will be taking care of them. And so here comes the response, it looks like, from the Prowlers. Snow Mage Dawn is up to 7,300 HP. Glenn Luke actually looks like he's taken the worst of it. Lots of Fervor and Aurora Fire raining down on him. That's going to be it's going to be a good way to lose some HP, is eating some Fervor Fire. But the Corsairs over the top. We have another one joining the mix now, so Snow Mage Dawn down to 4k HP. He's juking, ducking, and dodging. You know what they say, if you can dodge Corsair fighter bombers, then you can dodge a ball. Snow Mage Dawn is proving that for us today. But it looks like the Prowlers from Did You Miss Me have now showed up and taken out the opposing forces from Sirius in the air. So air dominance, well, sort of grabbed by Team 1. We got a lot of Prowlers though, without fuel, being just sent on kind of endless patrol routes. That's not necessarily ideal to have a bunch of planes with no fuel. T2 upgrade completes for investigation, so he's gonna shimmy himself over here, help out his buddy who is going for a nano repair upgrade. So Glenn Luke, his comm has kind of been in a state of semi-disrepair this entire game and is looking to have some nanites help him out. T2 upgrade coming in for Moonshadow and a Gun Splash for Pinky. That's an ambitious upgrade at 11 minutes into the game. That's a really expensive gun upgrade. I can't remember exactly how much it is, but I mean, that essentially turns your comm into like almost experimental level. Like, it gets pretty strong at that point. And while things are a little bit quieted down, let's take a look at eco. So we're up to 100k eco for Team 2 total accrued, and only 79k for Team 1. That is a little bit of a problem. We can probably attribute that somewhat to TV casualty. So casualty only pulling in 17 mass per tick. Not ideal. At 12 minutes into the game, you need to be in the 30s or in the 40s. He has been spending a lot of time and a lot of mass on helping out his teammates, which is important, but you know, still, you gotta make time for yourself. You gotta make time for self-love, man. You can't just be everything for everybody. Ooh, more Corsairs coming in over the top, and this is a lot of them this time. Do we have a response coming out from Did You Miss Me? Everybody's pinging desperately. T2 upgrade is canceled. Snow Mage starts ducking and diving and dodging, but he is going to be out of there. And our first ejection is going to be from our Seraphim, our southern flank, Snow Mage Dawn. So that's going to open up a pretty big gap that now Investigation and Glenn Luke will both be exploiting or investigating. And man, that hurts. So TV Casualty has now got a fire base over here, so he's going to be kind of hoping to take control of this side of the map, at least to some extent. And we've got a pretty big incursion here. And Pinky is obstinately going for this gun upgrade. I don't know if he's actually going to ever be able to get that done. But kind of putting a cork on that here for a second, we've got large incursion here from Investigation coming in at TV Casualty. He's going to start doing some pretty bad damage to his base. Got a lot of power generators set up here. His fire base is going to go down. This is not good. His commander is up at the front. His commander needs to start. You need to start moving that comm, buddy. Tactical missiles, though, coming in over the top. Oh, and these tactical missiles are coming in for investigation, whose comm is right here. Building AA flak, not building TMD. And those will connect. And investigation is out of there, and not a moment too soon. TV casualty being surrounded by investigation's forces there. And so that's going to be clutch for TV casualty. He still has to deal with Glenn Luke. We have another barrage coming up over the top for tactical missiles. I don't know if there's any zapper. There is a zapper here. We'll see if this is enough. Whew. Not quite. We'll see if we got Corsairs inbound though. So Did You Miss Me is going in to potentially take out Glenn Luke or Moonshadow. So much going on right now. TV casualty looks like he's going to get ejected from this game. At the same time, we have Corsairs coming in over Moonshadow. There's a lot of flak and Sky Slammers here for Moonshadow, but I mean, these look like they're going to be enough Corsairs to take this out. And Moonshadow is out of there. Wow. Whew. Okay, first comm ejection was what, like 3 minutes ago, and now we're down to a 2v2. Insane amounts of action going on in this game. Did You Miss Me really doing a lot there to help his team out with tactical missile snipes as well as Corsair snipes. But the real problem here is Glenn Luke, and Glenn Luke has a band of some Ilshivas, some Zuis. They're going to be putting some pressure in on Did You Miss Me. But he is still spamming Corsairs, and we are up to T3 air from Sirius. So Sirius has been much more focused, or much more serious, you might say, about going for upgraded air technology. These Corsairs will be responding to try and take out these mobile AA cannons, the Ioshivas. Oh, and Glenn Luke gets taken out by Did You Miss Me? I'm not sure what that was. That might have been another tactical missile snipe. It's the only thing I can think of. These guys are up to 3 kills. And I would say that that's probably what it was. I apologize for missing that one, guys. A lot going on in this game. But air superiority, though, seems to have been grabbed by, well, Team 2, or the kind of lone player left for Team 2. So now it's a... It is a, yeah, and Glenn Luke confirms it was a tactical missile snipe from this battery here. But Sirius, getting up to T3 air, has now prioritized ASF production and has taken air control away from Did You Miss Me. Did You Miss Me still at T2 air. Needs to be making that jump to T3. We've got lots of ASFs. We've got air transports being produced. Several T3 power generators. Looks like he's upgrading to T2 land. Okay. So yeah, as things kind of hopefully slow down for my voice. I'm getting too excited in this game. Little push coming in from Pinky over here on the eastern side of the map. So Cerberus turrets should be okay chewing through some of these guys, although they're just letting these Thams kind of walk up and knock. But I don't really see that becoming a huge issue. We have Renegades out from Sirius, so he's starting to abuse his air superiority in this game. But Team 1, even though they are down from an eco perspective, they are not looking to take this sitting down. And even though they don't have air control, it doesn't mean that they can't just start spamming Mantises into Sirius's base. So Sirius needs to redirect some of these gunships, and that's what he ends up doing to deal with this inbound land pressure. Those Renegades, of course, pretty good at dealing with T1 units with their splash damage, high rate of fire. He is at T3 air though, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some whalers coming in. Now we have nano repair coming in for Pinky, so I think Pinky's plan is just going to be take my comm and just walk it to the other side of the map. But this rally point system that Did You Miss Me is set up with this, wow, this is a metric ton of factories. In case you guys were wondering what a visual representation looks like of a metric ton, this is what it looks like. I wonder why is it called a metric ton? Because a ton is 2,000 pounds, which is the English form of measurement. So I don't know why it would be called a metric ton whenever it seems to be an English or an English form of measurement. That's weird. Answers in the comments if one of you guys knows why that's called a metric ton, or if that's just American idiocy calling it a metric ton. So these ASFs are going to have the skies on lockdown. Going for advanced nano repair now from Pinky, so not looking to mess around with this commander. And ends up canceling that upgrade. I wonder what the okay, so we are up to T3 air now from Did You Miss Me, starting to work on his first T3 power generator. Probably needs that power production. He's got so many T2 power generators. He's got 5 T2P gens. So for the record, I did this math on screen in one of my other videos. I'll pop it up here, but what the actual ratio is, like how much energy you end up spending to get 2,500 income if you go T2 versus T3. But these renegades are about to put the hurt in on Did You Miss Me, and Did You Miss Me is now going to be missing his power generation and his power grid. Oh man, that is, and there's literally no response. There are 2 prowlers that are up for wow, 3 prowlers that are up for Did You Miss Me, and he is going to lose like every single mass extractor. Does Sirius just have? I bet you he just has, yep, just shift queued all of the mass extractors for Did You Miss Me. Man, that's gotta hurt. And the Renegades just park it, you know? They had a good day. That was a hard day's work. So the response is now mass Sky Slammer production. So these Sky Slammers will be able to deal with the Renegades eventually, assuming the Renegades don't just kill them. We do have an Ayasheva here, which will definitely help from Pinky, but now the Renegades have locked onto a new target, and that's Pinky. And Pinky is about to lose all of his mass production as well. That's rough. And his comm is out here. Just going for it. Walk straight into his base. That's our only chance, yeah? I mean, well, the Renegades are there. You're not going to get away if you run that way, but I can understand the reasoning behind it. So Pinky is now just going to get whittled down by these Renegades, I think. And okay, so these Ayashivas, these might save him here, actually. That AoE damage, but I don't know, he's losing hit points awfully fast. And Pinky is out of there. So we are now at a 1v1 between Sirius and Did You Miss Me? Mano y mano. Alrighty. And we are up to T3 land, so Loyalists coming out from Sirius. And similarly to the Renegades, there's just really not a whole lot that Did You Miss Me has in the tank here to deal with Loyalists. He has something like 100 Sky Slammers right now. 79 Sky Slammers right now, but I mean, Loyalists are going to cut through those like a hot knife through butter. And Renegades here in the back are continuing to cause him problems. Does he have any static AA? Doesn't look like it. Oof. That's not going to feel good either. Alright, so the Loyalists have engaged. Starting to cut through the T1 factories, so Did You Miss Me's land. Capabilities. Oh, he's got lots of tracers. He is not wanting to die to air. Unfortunately, though, he doesn't really have a whole lot in the ground protection game. He's got a Cerberus turret that is losing an argument with a hill right now. And that's about it. Yeah, these Loyalists will just continue kind of moving, making their way in. He is starting to build some additional Cerberuses, though, back here, so I mean, at least he'll be able to protect his T3 power generation, hopefully. The death animation for the Loyalist I always think is one of the coolest in the game. How it kind of does this like liquid effect as the EMP goes off. Always a cool one. The Sky Slammers are going to take out one of the Loyalists. Man. But as a rule of thumb, I do not think that Sky Slammers are a good counter to Loyalists. That's just I'm not, like I said, you know, I'm not a professional, but that's just my 2 cents. Because I'm looking at how many Loyalists have died versus how many Sky Slammers. This does not really seem like a viable count. But then again, I don't know that he has a whole lot of other options. He did bring his comm back. His comm is working on additional Cerberus. He's also working on shield generation options. So, I mean, we will see if he's able to deal with these Loyalists, but I think that these Loyalists are just the symptom of a larger issue, and that's just overall lack of tech in the mid game, where I think there was just a little bit too much of a lag to get to T3 air. I'm saying this like I'm a good air player. You guys can go watch my custom game where I play air, and I have pretty much the most dog shit build order you'll ever see. But more Loyalists coming in here on the side with a brick. So this base is probably going to fall because it's only got one Cerberus here to protect it. So that's basically like shooting a BB gun at a freight train. So I think that, I mean, Sirius really could just take these Renegades in and just take out his commander. I think that's all he has to do. Oh, okay, and he just ends up bowing out. Okay, well, that was a semi-anticlimactic ending to what was otherwise a very action-packed game. You know, my heart rate is elevated. Desync is detected as well. Maybe that was why he control K'd. But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, any pointers, any tips, any things you guys liked, don't like about my casting style, put it in the comments below. The only thing I would ask is that you guys be constructive. If you put something down there like, oh, you're just a piece of shit, like I don't like the way you cast, I'm not going to listen to it. I'm just going to tell you that right now. But there have been a lot of you guys that have offered really good pointers, quite frankly, that I've really tried to incorporate into the cast, so I hope you guys are seeing improvement. As always, if you guys like what you saw, subscribe to the channel. We got a lot of different Supreme Commander content here, not just casts of games like this, but also my ladder matches, custom games. I do testing, tutorials, things like that. In the future, I'm going to have a multi-part series coming out on what to do in your first ladder match, because like I've said in the past, one of the goals that I had with this channel whenever I set out was to make this game as accessible as possible, because I had kind of a rough a rough introduction to this game, and I think that there are ways that the community and the content creators out there can help support the tutorials and making this game a little bit easier to get into and easier to learn. Then last but definitely not least, if you guys have any games that you want to see me comment on, whether it's you want to see whether it's a loss or a win that you want me to review and tell you what I think that you did well or what I think that you did poorly, you can send that to me. Or if you want to send me a cast like this, about probably half of the games that I cast are submitted from you guys. And so if you guys have a game that has a good amount of back and forth, feel free to drop the replay ID in the comments down below. Be more than happy to cast it. I love casting, and I especially love casting y'all's games because, you know, it's special. It's y'all's games, and I actually know you guys, sort of. And that's about all I had to go over today. Once again, thank you guys very much, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.